I'm a woman and I don't have to fight for my rights. Let me do my work my way and I'm sure things will come to me. For you to be a woman leader, most of them think either you need to sacrifice family or you need to have a godfather in the political career. But when I'm going, I'm just going. I don't see anything. I don't see you. I don't see him. I don't see her. I just don't know anything. I'm going, Smitha, and I'm just going. That's it.
Hello. Welcome to yet another episode of Unscripted Icons. The power to question is the power to change. The power to question is the basis of all human progress. Today I'm very happy to be questioning the questioner. As a part of Women's Empowerment Program, we know her as a student leader, a social activist, a journalist, and now today she is the National Spokesperson of Congress. Very happy to be interviewing Ms. Swathi Chandrashekhar. Hearty welcome to you, Swathi.
Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very happy that I'll be talking to a person who has interviewed the most number of politicians, celebrities, and pretty renowned face in the world of podcasts and interviews. So how is it you sitting on the other chair?
I think it's been almost 1.5 years sitting on this side politically.
Okay.
And with more than, I guess, 3-4 years sitting here as an entrepreneur, social activist, and into public life in social sector. So it feels great. I never thought in my life that, either I'll be sitting there or I'll be sitting here.
Okay.
Because my life has always been, shocks and surprises to me. So yes, looking forward for the journey, and we'll see what is next. But so far it's been so good being here, and also a part of being here.
It's my pleasure. I think you're one of the very few reporters or journalists who don't need to shout out loud. You're calm, and the way you speak, your voice is heard. You put across your point in a very stern, firm, calm manner. Unlike the other reporters who just shout. I mean, I don't have anything against their style of reporting. But how are you being so calm? I mean, even if you get triggered with a lot of questions, but you still have that calmness in you. You stay very focused, and you don't raise your voice.
Oh, I think you have not seen my debates of late. So there's a complaint.
No, compared to the other reporters,
yes, of course, it was a different scenario when I was a reporter or an anchor, and now being a spokesperson, it's a different scenario altogether. But yes, talking about the journey of my journalism, I would like to thank my mentors. So Shri Rudrappa, who was the former Indian Express, and also Mr. Anand Chinivar, who used to tell me very clearly and very categorically, interviews is not about shouting. And you don't have to disrespect the person who is sitting opposite to you.
Correct, absolutely.
Whosoever it is. He might be an MLA, she might be a Gram Panchayat member, or a chief minister, or a leader of opposition, whosoever it is. So they have a journey to come and be in that position, in that seat. So just because you have your mic and you have a degree of journalism, or you're called as a reporter in today's scenario, because we don't hold degrees. I don't have a degree in journalism.
Okay.
So just because you have an opportunity to sit and question in front of them, you don't have to disrespect them.
True.
So that was something which was very clear in my mind. So whosoever it is, whatsoever it is, I personally believe that any problem in this world can be solved through a conversation. So then why not interviews happen in that way? And what is the purpose or the need of an interview?
Sure.
To give maximum information to the public about the person, or about what is their current situation, or what they're trying to do. So if that can actually happen over a colloquial, a natural, and dramatically we call in a naughty way or in a very professional way.
Correct.
So then what is the need to shout? What is the need to have a grim face? What is the need to, target them? No offense to any reporters, to any journalists, but when I see the names of many programs, that is interviews, oh, we are going to hit it here. We are going to nail it here.
Correct.
I feel like, what's there to nail? What's there to hit? Boss, it's your question and it's their answer.
Absolutely.
And that's it. And question can be as crisp as it is or as neatly presented as it is, with calmness, with the smiley face, with a lot of professionalism, and at the same time keeping up your integrity. I'm not telling you to give away yourself just for the sake of an interview and try to please the other person. Keeping yourself intact, being what you are, and still you're able to bring out the maximum of whatever the person is thinking or trying to do, then that is actually the best interviews that you can do.
Absolutely.
So then I thought, yes, so I don't know. Maybe these words
you're
stuck in
so
my
right.
mind.
Sometimes it starts with a very calm, clear picture as supposed to we have to speak about this topic. But if you look at interviews recently, I mean, the couple of years, 5 to 10 years down the line, it's just start with a topic and go somewhere else, targeting each other.
You're bringing someone, you're calling some person only to corner that person.
Correct.
Yeah. What does
That's
it
how
mean?
that's
Who
what
are
is
you
happening.
to do it? See, be it a political leader or whatsoever it is, you don't have to. People are there to judge their work. Or I understand media plays a very vital role in last at least 2 decades in this world and in the country, and majority leaders are made through TV and they're broken also through TV.
Absolutely.
So that is also there. But I think there is a very thin line of ethical journalism that we need to follow instead of, and I'm sure people today, there was an era where for few months or few years people would bag, you're shouting, you're questioning them, you're trying to bully them on screen or whatsoever it is. But it has changed. The way today, even, if people remember me even today, for my interviews that I did past 4-5 years, then I think, or for example, I think I have to really talk about Simiji, one of her interviews with Jayalalitha. People remember today after 2 decades. It's only because of, her way of presenting, her way of talking, and she could bring the maximum out of
and it's like beyond
she herself
the highlights, beyond the headlines, you could get to know a person as they are, rather than what the media is portraying
100%,
them to.
And nobody ever dared to bring out so much of information. See, behind the screen there might be hundreds of rumors about a person, but bringing that out from a person through horse's mouth or through his or her own mouth is most important.
Absolutely.
And I think that should be the motto of an interview, and that's what I did, I guess.
That's so true. I mean, we still remember BAHUBALI, that is Namma BAHUBALI from TV5. I think my viewers also would agree that we know TV5 through Namma BAHUBALI, through Swathi Chandrashekhar. It's the entire set of interviews, the 200 episodes that you did. It's just the game changer, I think, in the Kannada media industry, because the way you curated the entire interview, the way you got the guests, and it was just such a change that we needed. Hats off to you. Hats off to you for that. So I would want to ask you one question, Swathi. I mean, this is a obviously male-dominated industry. Would you agree on that? As a woman, did you find a lot more challenges to go through, a lot more pressure in terms of reaching where you are today?
Not really. I have never, I'm never a feminist. Neither I fight that women is lesser in this society, nor I brag about men are more superior. I'm a very normal, and I'm the way I am. I'm a woman and I don't have to fight for my rights. Let me do my work my way, and I'm sure things will come to me.
True.
But yes, what was challenging was my days in Delhi, because I was the only woman reporter in Delhi, post-independence from Karnataka, in majority from South India, who have travelled from here to Delhi to work there, who are not born and brought up there. So we have a lot of female journalists in national channels and regional channels who are working there, who are born and brought up in Delhi. But somebody who has travelled from Bangalore all the way till there, so it was
sure challenging.
It was. So it was only me, and in Delhi, it was more of a field reporting. To be very honest, so it was, I still remember in one of the episodes where, few MLAs were captivated in one of the resorts in Rajasthan. So it was maybe in the month of December, January. So it just horrible, terrible winter in North Indian states. And Rajasthan, of course, attracts highest of winter and highest of summer, so we all know that. And 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the midnight, we are standing there, freezing in that cold.
Oh my God.
And you don't have any washroom facilities to go because we are not allowed to get into the resort. And any hotel to reach out, so it's either 50 kilometers here or it's 50 kilometers there. So it was only dabas on the highways. So any which ways you have to travel 10, 15 kilometers. So we don't know when would the person actually come out. And I understand that it would be very silly for me to tell that I was waiting for hours together for any MLAs who would come out, who actually never came out. But the pressure at that point of time would be, to deliver that, okay, there might be some MLAs who would be coming, or there might be a formation of the government. So it is just that you have to be there and collect all the information and pass it on to Karnataka, because the whole Karnataka, whole India was very curiously and sitting and watching what is happening there. So we as regional channels, we were actually giving the maximum information. So national channels would generally come, have a quick bites and then go away. So we were there because as it's a very crucial matter for Karnataka, so we were standing there and covering it. So it took hours and hours and hours. So these were actually challenging incidents. It's not just because that you belong to a gender, you have a challenges, but there are certain limitations that you actually face it, being a woman, and of course I've faced it, and I don't pity myself for facing it, or rather I don't complain anybody about it, but I would definitely tell that this mode of reporting probably would have changed, so that it would have been comfortable for many others. Instead of standing at a place and trying to just to capture one moment, I would actually like to remember wildlife photographers. If you remember, to just capture
100%.
one moment, they would stand for hours and hours and hours together. So it is something very similar here. So at the end of the day, work is work, can't help. So that was one of the incidents, and to name a few more, as I told you, I was the only female journalist. Many times off the record conversations used to happen over a evening drink or a party.
Yes.
So where I was never invited. So
is it because you're a woman, or
definitely
you didn't want to? I mean, was it
no,
your choice?
No, because the person who was hosting the evenings didn't know either to invite me or not.
Okay.
And at the same time, it was quite of a dilemma for me, either should I go or not. So when there was no invitation, so it was quite natural that I wouldn't go there, or I wouldn't have an information about it as well. So it took me actually 6 months to understand, compile all these things, then make a space for myself. And thanks to Karnataka elections 2018, which actually gave me a space, and thanks to Chief Minister Siddharamaiah, so he was also Chief Minister then, so who gave me interviews, who recognized my reporting, and who understood my analysis of elections and ground reporting and other things. So he encouraged me with giving bites and other things more so ever, and that was one of the interviews. I guess I interviewed all the top leaders.
Absolutely. I mean, you named them and you have spoken to them.
Yes, so that was just 4-5 months of my journalism journey, and
you just rose very quickly.
God's grace. So I guess after that interview, things changed. People started looking seriously. People started taking me seriously, because I was just 23 and a half when I went to when I went to Delhi and kind of became a journalist. So when I was a full-fledged journalist, I was 24 and a half, something, 25, 24 and a half. So people were like, hey, yaar, ichi kudgi. So what would she even do? People were not taking me seriously. People were thinking that, okay, what is that she knows? Of course, when there is generally a curiosity that, oh, who is this girl who has come to Delhi for reporting? That is definitely there. But beyond that, a journalist, especially in Delhi journalism, here it's a bite journalism most of the times. You go, people come, you take a bite, you travel around and they give you bites, it's a different story. But there, off the record journalism happens. So for that, people have to take you seriously. Yes. They have to consider you as a very serious journalist or a senior journalist. So unless and until that, you don't actually have that bandwidth. It happens. It happened many times when I visited as a part of my introduction to a lot of ministers and MPs or other leaders. I visited their houses and they were like, "Acha, theek hai, you've come, okay." But things changed. So it was then later they themselves called me and gave me interviews. So that it was a journey and I have enjoyed it. I like that. So being from here and when you achieve that, you'll be like, yes,
exactly,
you got
exactly.
it.
So there's a lot of difference between journalism in Bangalore and in Delhi. I mean, reporting. There's a lot of difference. How difficult was it for you to just, change your mindset in terms of what I really need to change right now? How did you achieve it?
The luckiest part is I never did a journalism in Bangalore.
Okay.
So I never knew what it required to be in Bangalore or what it required to be in Delhi. So all that I knew in my life was after I moved to Delhi in 2015, mid of 2015. So I've survived in Delhi for 1 year till 2016. And then I realized Delhi has something to give me.
Correct.
So I could figure that out. And I wanted to stay in Delhi more. So I didn't know what to do. And somehow, one day, an opportunity came for me to do an internship. It was not an internship. It was a month of an adjustment that was required for standby for one of the reporters.
Okay.
So it was just a luck by chance. I thought, okay, fine, let me just take a try. And it just happened. And after that, then all that I knew was I have to be in Delhi. I have to concentrate on my music and dance. And to survive in Delhi, I need to work. So what was that work? And the work was this. It just came. It is not that I went hunting for it or I was so passionate about journalism that I started doing journalism. But I'm sure when whatever comes to me, I'll ensure that I'll give my 100%.
I think that's the mindset. I mean, that's your take on life in terms of, okay, whatever comes in, I'll be ready. They say when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. You're the right example for it. Why are there not women leaders in the parliament or in our government as such? When you look at Karnataka itself, we hardly have women leaders who really make a mark, who stand there, for change. Why do you think there is a gender bias?
It's very difficult. For you to be a woman leader, either, most of them think, either you need to sacrifice family or you need to give your 24 hours into politics or you need to have a godfather in the political career or you need to have someone bringing you and placing you there from the family.
Absolutely.
So this is what has been the norm or the myth till date. And thanks to current Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and former Chief Minister Jayalalitha ji, who broke these norms and set a benchmark for all of us to actually think about. And also former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ji, who had plateau in the beginning, but who made herself whatever she is 100%. Only through her efforts and no backing, no family. People say Gandhi Parivar, it was nothing as such. So it was a journey that she traveled. So thanks to these top 3 leaders who actually, made it politically, on ground, with people, electoral politics. And apart from that, we have a lot of women parliamentarians
slowly picking up,
who are there, just for the sake of you need to send someone. Okay, itna sara MPs there are men. To compensate, to balance, you need to have one woman. So you send someone from Rajya Sabha, you give them some ministry or something, and they are done and dusted. So this has been the trend all these days and all these years. But I'm sure that there would be a change in the future political generations to come ahead that we see. And to be very honest, the question you asked, why there are no women politicians, there is a very clear mindset in Indian political arena. There are a lot of people who have come out and who have made themselves bigger in IT sector, in entrepreneurial journey. There are a lot of people who have come out. It's mere talent. I still remember when way back then Rukmini Devi Arundale, so who was the first Bharatanatyam dancer to come out and make a mark for herself. And after that, there are a lot of examples. Who was the former PepsiCo CEO? Yes. So there are a lot of people who try to experiment themselves, and Sudha Murthy ji for
definitely
that example. Coming from nowhere and reaching till here, of course, the backing of Infosys is different, but her own journey is very different. So there was a balance of family and work. But once you get into politics, there is a lot of I still remember watching one of the Jayalalitha's interview. Very easily and very truly she says, for you to, because she's played both the roles of being an artist and as well as being a politician. It's necessary for you to be have a heroine in a film, but it's not necessary for you to have a woman in politics. It runs. Government runs without women.
So double standards, right?
Yes. So, but there are certain industries which cannot run without women.
Absolutely.
So, be it an art industry for that matter. So, of late we have seen, so it doesn't run without a woman. And a lot of artists today are, of course, there are male artists, but a lot of them, majority of them are female artists. So, cinema industry doesn't run without a woman. So, politics is one such institution. They feel, what is the need to have a woman? And this is one of the major reasons that people still think, or women also think, that okay, what is it for us to do there? But I think times change. You need to dream big to actually be in that position. And to be in that position, to dream big, you need to actually be in that situation where you can dream big. If you're not even in the circle of politicians, or if you don't even know what it looks like, you can't be there. You can't dream. Your mind will not allow you to have bigger space into that domain.
There's so much fear associated with
politics.
I mean,
especially women in politics.
Yes, absolutely. Did you feel that fear at all? I don't see you fearing anything. I don't because you look very courageous. You're very straightforward. You put your point across. I mean, do you have thoughts of, okay, what does it take for me to be so straightforward, so courageous? I mean, I don't fear anything at all. This is the way I am. Because many people say you'll have to be diplomatic in politics, you can't rub against anything, you can't talk about any party, can't talk about any leaders as such, because it's all available on the internet as such, and they might target you in the long run.
See, I think politics is art of management. That's what I've learned. Because I understand, at your home, your father is a different person, your mother is a different person. If you have siblings, they are of a different person. If you're able to collectively manage them and take them together, so that is how you actually take a country forward, or that is how you actually take a political party ahead, or the government ahead. But at the same time, certain situations that arise where you have to stand stern and make your point and take your decisions the way it is and go forward. So I do the same thing because many times it is so that I don't compromise. When I think that this is what it is, or this is what it is supposed to be, I be there. I believe in it. And when you believe in something, I'm sure that the whole universe comes together for you to achieve it. And being courageous, I think, is most important. I thank my life journey for it because,
like you said, coming from a very normal Brahmin family, it's engraved in our minds that okay, you have to study, you have to get into college, get married, have children, take care of the family, get a 9-to-5 job as such, be stable in your job. That's the way life has been led by our previous generations. But what made you different?
I think I didn't do any of these things that made me different. The first thing I realized in my life was I was very good at studies. But it was only subjective to certain subjects that I was liking it. There were certain things that I didn't like. So I ensured that I'll stay away from those subjects. Of course, I would end up getting decent marks, first class, for me to, there were other subjects which used to compensate those subjects and get a good distinction at the end of the day. So there were, when the best part I think in my life that I have realized or I have understood for myself is when I'm trying to do something I like. So obviously, all your dislikes get away from your life. So that is how it is. I think that is what I did all my life. So there are from my school days, there are certain subjects that I could not get it. I did not understand how, no matter how hard you try, people tell that, irrespective of whatever it is, you will get that, you will get this. Yes, I understand. But there is always a certain point that there is something that you can't, you tell me today cos theta, tan theta, no, I can't understand. It is very difficult for me.
It's beyond.
Though I did science in my 11th and 12th in my BUC. So there are certain areas that probably I can't touch. And for example, social sciences. It was such a burden history was a very big burden for me in my school days. So I used to love physics then. So then I was like, okay, fine, I'll do physics. So that these were the subjects that
you liked.
I liked and that went away from me. So that I could do well in my studies in my school. And then later when I came to PUC and other things, I realized, no offense, even my sister is an engineer and most of my cousins in my family are engineers. But I realized that where is my heart calling me? With so much of energy, with so much of passion for art, I can't either get into an IT sector or I don't want to do an engineering. So I was very clear about it. So my goal for the sake of family pressure or peer pressure or whatsoever it is, you have to take science after your 10th. That is the norm in a Brahmin family. So I also took it. And luckily electronics saved me again there which was my favorite subject. So there are a lot of subjects which kind of tried to just come be part of it for me to pass those exams. But there were certain subjects electronics paid well to me. And then I took a decision in my post my 12th that I'm not going to do engineering. So when I didn't do engineering, so there was this whole of world that opened to me.
True.
So when you actually need to achieve something, it is something that you need to give up in your life. I don't know what it would be. It would have been if I would have been an engineer, or I would have been in IIT, or I would have been in one of the bigger companies. I don't know.
You are here to make a change.
Maybe
for
yes.
Sure. You're
maybe
destined to be here.
So I think that one decision of my life where even today my parents taught me you didn't do engineering. I'm like, it's okay. I've done much more.
Even today?
No.
Okay.
They're happy about what I've done, but still that
somewhere.
Why didn't you do engineering?
True.
What is that? It did not allow you to do engineering. Yeah. So then I was like, no, I'm very clear about not doing engineering. So once I got into my degree of BSc, the whole new world opened to me. I was a singer. I was an anchor, I was a social activist, I was a student leader, I was most popular in the college, I was modeling.
Wow.
So these were the whole lot of opportunities that opened.
So much exposure.
So much of exposure. So 3 years, I don't even remember how it went. It just moved like this. I was like, oh my God. Then
but
came
in your
again.
college days, they say you were a rebel.
Yes, I was.
And when your principal, used to see you protesting, she
Oh
thinks
God.
we have to close the college now.
Oh God, oh
You
God,
know.
I know.
How did that, the entire thing of, okay, you have the courage obviously, but then to stand to represent a number of people behind you, that really requires guts.
See, again, I told you when I believe in that cause, it just happens at the end of the day. That's most important, because there was one of the first protests that I was part of was a free bus pass for students. I was like, why not? Why not a free bus pass for students? Let it happen. So then that was also one of the, as I told you, life has always been shocking and has given me surprises. So I went into student politics without any knowledge. So it was just at in one of the events they wanted someone to sing Vande Mataram, and one of my seniors pulled me there. Come, we'll go. I said, okay, fine, we're going. I have to get in attendance. Yeah, you'll get in attendance. Don't worry about it. So that is when it all started. So as soon as I think many times it so happens that you don't recognize what you are, but people around you recognize who you are and what you're meant to be. Absolutely. So I think that is what has happened to me in my life. So wherever I've gone, people have given me opportunities. People have shown me ways. People have shown me path. People have made me sit in positions. Because if that day, of course, today, I don't want to name the person, he's a big politician today. So if he wouldn't have recognized me and told me to be in one of the positions for South Bangalore, in the organization, in a student organization, I don't think I would have been sitting here. So, as I told you, because I never knew what it was there, but people around me recognized probably I'm meant to be here, I'm meant to be there. And thanks to my principal again.
She would be so proud today.
She is definitely. Whenever I meet her today, she is very proud. But way back then, where
she's scared of you.
Not scared. She used to hold my hall tickets, not make me sit into exams.
Correct.
And make sure that I bring my parents every once in 6 months or something to send a complaint about me and other things. I do all these things were irritating me then, but today I believe that at least for the fear of those things, I used to do only certain things that I used to believe in. I used to not get into, poke my nose into every other protest that was actually happening around in the state. So, as I told you, the first protest that we were part of was free bus pass. I remember standing in front of the college and closing down the college. She used to be like, "What are you doing?" I'll be like, "No, ma'am. This is a very important protest and you have to send students." And I'm a rebel that when I want it, I don't listen to anyone.
True.
So that's how it is. And that's how it happened. And most of the,
like you said, it's for right causes.
Exactly. That's what I told you. When I believe in something and when I feel that it's for a right cause. And there was a paper leak from Bangalore University way back then.
True.
And a lot of students had actually, there were a few suicides that had happened in Karnataka way back then because of the paper leak and other things. So I felt this is if I'm not able to be there to fight for their rights at that given point of time, so then what am I actually doing here, leaving a baggage of engineering in my life? And if I'm there, if I'm able to bring a change, then why not? At the end of the day. So that's what always kept running in my mind, and people also pushed me to thrive there, be there, achieve there. See, it is always that when everything comes together, you walk freely. When there is a rejection, that is when you'll be like, acha, then I'll do this and I'll show it to you. Absolutely. So I think it was a lot of rejections that came in my life, which actually thrived me to be there.
Yeah. When you say a lot of people supported you, I'm sure there are a lot of people who didn't support you, who raised their voice against what you're doing. A lot of opinions, judgments, they're being judgmental to a person who stands for a right cause. So there are a lot of voices, a lot of noise, chaos. How did you deal with that? Or did it really matter to you? I mean, what other people think?
It did not. You know what? I was so busy. I was so busy in my life. As I told you, I've hosted more than 200 public shows, government shows. So that was in that journey of my degree. And so I was under a pressure to complete the degree as well, because every semester you don't get a hall ticket, you go, you beg in front of her. The next day you go, you stand in front of her and protest. So these were the both two identicals of mine that I had to face. And I started my musical journey very late in my life, and I was so it was very clearly in my mind that I have quit my engineering to pursue my art, and I have to be there and learn music. So it was in such a position that 8 o'clock was the college. Jain College starts at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and 5 minutes you're late and the door closes. Until 11 o'clock for next 3 consecutive classes, you don't have access to get into the college, to get into your class. So you run from your house, you go there, and you finish your first half. Generally, commerce students had the privilege of winding up their college half a day, but we science students, it's a long day. It's 9 to 4 is what your college is, or generally 8 to 3 is what your college is. Middle of your lunch break. So generally, it was a combination that if you have taken electronics, there would be a combination of computer science students who would have a class post lunch. So you used to get a break of 1.5 hours. So hawk something in the class, or hawk something during signals. I've eaten many times.
Oh my God.
Riding my bike in the signals, and go to the music class, finish your class, come back, attend those classes, go to your either 1 or 2 days there would be meetings every 2 days. So go to those meetings of my student union, attend that, come back, and I was learning Kathak under Nirupama Rajendraji then. So come back to Kathak classes, and then go back, and at least weekly 2 to 3 times I used to have shows to host. So be a part of those shows. And in this journey, I'm sure that there were hundreds and thousands of cures. Today, if I look back and if I think about those days, I can see many people talking many things, many people telling many things. It might be for good, might not be for good, whatsoever it is, I don't know. So today I see there are a lot of buzz that was happening, but I never looked into these things.
Correct.
This never mattered to me at all. So I was so busy there, it did not occur to me. Even today, for that matter, there are a lot of, there might be hundreds of cures or thousands of cures that's behind me. But when I'm going, I'm just going. I don't see anything. I don't see you. I don't see him. I don't see her. I just don't know anything. I'm going, Smitha, and I'm just going. That's it.
That's important in terms of focusing what you want, rather than focusing what people are talking and being judgmental about what you're doing. I think that's where women need to stand up for themselves. Okay, we have a lot of responsibilities back at home, at work. Okay, what do you want? Like, as a woman, what do I want? For me to understand that, it took a long time not to get bothered by what people are talking about.
Not to get carried away.
So coming back to your interviews, you were the first person, I think you were the only person who got an opportunity to ask a question to Donald Trump. How was that?
Oh, I think it just happened. It was one of the opportunities, how people bring it to you. So there was one of the off-the-record conversations that was happening, and I had missed it in Delhi with the former chief minister then, or probably the current chief minister then. I was so sad. I was just sitting. I was like, oh shit, I've missed it. And one of my very close friends calls me and tell that, hey, your name is registered for American president's press meet. Why you're not coming? I said, I didn't even know about this. Who did it? I said, I did. I've done it. See, that is how it is. That is what I have realized in my life. When you miss out on something, there is something much bigger that is waiting for you in life. And if you actually hold on to getting this, you will miss something that is bigger. So I think that is what actually happened. I was really whining that, oh, I missed this off the record conversation. But within 20-30 minutes, I get this call, and I'm like, with no interest, with half heart, with zero heart actually, I get into that. It's just because of the pressure, and persistently, my friend was calling and was asking me to get into that interview, and I just went. But when I went there, when I saw Trump, American president, coming there, sitting, all the first 2 rows are of course for the international media, and next 2 rows are for English media.
Then
and
comes regional media.
For Hindi media, and at the last you have regional media. Thank God you actually have an entry. That is the privilege that we get, is what they treat us as, irrespective of having filled your Silicon Valley from the southern Indian talents in US. So I was like, there was a lot of conversation happening, and I appreciate international media that, irrespective of who you are, the straightforward questions that they were asking. So I was just listening to all of it, and then I don't know. I had a question ready in my mind at the end of the day because I was very clear that I'm not going to ask any question that is going to favor US or American president. I wanted to ask all the questions that was favoring India and that was favoring our people, especially who were sitting there. So I had a question that was framed because there was a lot of H1B visa issue that was happening at then when not in this current presidentialship of his, in the past presidentialship of his. So I had a question framed across on that line, and I was just seeing who all would ask questions. And there came a moment. And he just looked at me and I just raised my hand. That's it.
Okay.
It was just a spur of a moment.
Yeah, he's very spontaneous.
He's very spontaneous. For you to touch a nerve or touch a chord, it is just 1 second that requires. So probably I think I had that moment in my life at that for that given interview or that moment, that situation. So he was just looking, oh yeah, you. Then I was there in the last. I was like, yes. Then I was like,
yes.
No, it was not yes. It was, did he really ask me?
I know.
Is it me? I looked around. Of course, I was very nervous because I didn't know what to. I mean, though I had the question in my mind, as soon as I got the mic, I didn't know what to tell. The first thing I told was my name and my organization. So as soon as I told that, it was a start. So there was an ignition so that I could go forward. But if you see that video, there is a pause of 10-15 seconds.
Yes.
Because I was not getting the question, what is that I'm supposed to ask? Thanks to other journalists again who were sitting there. They were like, oh, it so happens that when you're there, because it's a very prestigious press conference and it's a very serious press conference that happens. The whole world is looking at that press conference and people are watching at you. You can't take a pause, you can't take a break, you can't just go wrong if you have got the opportunity.
Yes.
So, a lot of big journalists in front of me, all English top international affairs covering journalists, reporters are sitting there. They were like, oh, that sound. I was like, now it's my time to ask that question. Then I asked that question and it became viral. So across the country, people started discussing about it, and a lot of Twitter handles started posting that question, posting my photograph. A lot of newspapers covered that. A girl from Karnataka questions Trump. So it was a history that was created. But yes, that moment. It was required for me to understand and process. And again, thanks to the cures that was around, which drove me to be there.
Swathi, you've done a lot of interviews. You've spoken to a lot of celebrities, a lot of leaders. Any one interview that you found was challenging for you to get through, or it was really, one interview that was very memorable, that is very memorable to you today?
I don't see any interviews that was challenging, but yes, my first interview was very challenging to me. It was with Sri Guruji of the Art of Living.
Okay.
And it was challenging because somebody else was trying for an interview and they did not get it. And finally, I was the person who was there and I got the interview. And again, a lot of chaos around for me to not get in there and do that interview. And hardly I had only 15 minutes. It was during the demonetization in this country, and we had to take his opinion and publish it. There was literally a fight, a chaos that was happening there to get that interview. And so finally somehow I got into that interview and some technical issue, camera issue, mic issue, this. But then I was like, boss, it's now.
Exactly.
Or never. Whatsoever it come, what may, I'm doing this interview. Again, irrespective of how much of a noise you have, the whole universe comes to you to do it. I think that is what happened there. And that first interview actually gave me a chance to work for TV5 network. Because as I was interning, or rather I can tell as a standby reporter, as I told you, I got my first job for 1.5 months. Then I had to intern in the same channel because I had no experience, and then get into the proper journalism profession. So that was the only interview I had to show it to my next editor, where I was giving an interview to TV5 Network. I showed that interview and he was like, I don't know what he felt. He said, you're going to make big in this business.
Wow.
He just saw that interview, he said, you're going to make big in this business, and rest is the history. So that is one interview that actually always haunts me, the way it happened and the journey it actually gave me. And of course, one of my most memorable interviews is all episodes of BAHUBALI. But apart from that is Chief Minister Siddaramaia's interview.
Okay.
That was an interview which had no filters, which lasted for 3.5 hours. And he spoke his heart out. The whole Karnataka has seen that interview.
Yes.
All top leaders has seen that interview. Former Prime Minister, former Chief Minister, current Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister of all the parties, whosoever has become till date in Karnataka. Everybody has seen that interview. I never thought that interview could go so viral. As I told you, I followed only those norms what my mentors had taught me, whosoever is in front of you, opposite to you, because that was my first biggest interview. Until then, it was always a 15 minutes conversation or a day with a leader that you travel across during elections. So it is just a conversation of 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's a break. You break that break those conversations. You don't have that intensity. You don't carry carry that intensity throughout the interview. So it was that interview. I didn't even realize after that interview that was the popularity that I received. I finished that interview. It was 2-3 weeks. Then I went to Delhi. And I met the former Prime Minister. Somebody introduced me telling that she is so and so. Of course, he had seen me before, but it always so happens that I think that I always go and I tell sir I'm from TV5. Of course, they tell that we know you, but still. So he said, I know. I've seen your interview with Siddaramaiah. I was like, wow, what? Really? So then I was like, so that is the
that
reach.
interview was really,
That is the
really
reach of the
something
interview.
different.
And of course, he was also very gracious enough to talk his heart out in that interview. And few entertainment channels had hosted his interviews. But this interview actually went way beyond that interview, and he himself remembers that interview.
That's
till
so
date.
nice.
Yeah. And also during the COVID, even till date, that the interview that goes viral is Honorable DCM's interview. It was his first interview after he came out of the prison and became the KPCC president. That interview had everything in him. There were false cases that was upon him, and he had the joy of becoming the KPCC president, and at the same time the energy to do something, thrive something, and show it to the people.
True.
So that interview, again, no bar, no filter interview, and so I think when the person is in rage, the interview that comes out,
That's
and when the person is calm and wants to let his life out, the interviews that come out. So these are the contrast interviews I think I remember throughout my life, which shaped my political career. And apart from that, a lot of celebrities I've interviewed, like Prakash Raj, Sudha Murthy ji.
Yes.
So these are the memorable interviews that. And every interview, every time a person comes, sits, and every interview, everybody I have interviewed has cried.
I don't know how you do it, because I have done almost close to 100 interviews, but to tap into their emotional intelligence, so-called, that core, is not easy. Not everybody open up. How do you do that? Every interview, the person is talking something about how they feel, and what exactly is happening to them. Not many people tell the truth. They mask it out, telling everything is okay and things like that. But then every interview you do, there's some personal touch to it. So definitely want to ask you,
I don't know, Smitha. Again, I'm telling you, before every interview, I don't study about a person. I don't make research. I don't talk to them. It's hardly, because when I did Namma BAHUBALI, there was a lot of pressure.
Correct.
Because weekly 5 episodes. So there was no break. And I have to have backup episodes. So you know how channel works.
Absolutely.
So at least 2 backup. So you need to shoot minimum of 2 episodes per day. Or if not, you're doing 1, at least you need to line up guests, then the editing,
Yes.
then on screen, you need to add headlines, stickers and all those things to the final product that comes out. So I was both the part of a production and
How did you manage to do anchoring, production?
yeah. So and again, finalize your, because I don't know heaven on this earth, I decided to wear a sari for the interview because it was COVID and no suits fitted me in the office because it was never made for my size, and I had no clothes because everything was in Delhi.
Okay.
Hardly I had my mother's sari, who had around 100 saris, collection from past 20,
The
25
saris
years.
were beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thanks so much. all credits and thanks to my mom. And thanks to a few stores in Malleshwaram who had opened up, where I could get ready-made blouses. It's all mix and match. So it was a pressure of, looking presentable on TV.
Correct.
And at the same time, being on time and doing their interviews and lining up guests. So though the telecast was for 1 hour, the process was 5 hours to do the interview.
Absolutely.
And again, the process of another 3-4 hours to put it on air. So it was good 8 hours that was eating my
Every episode
day.
was special. Every episode had different guests, different topics, and the time frame also was more than an hour. I would say every interview was more than an hour.
And no interview was edited. Everything was one take.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
No interview was edited.
I think the name itself, Namma BAHUBALI, still remembered.
So like now we are going on a conversation. It was a conversation like that. No interview was edited. No breaks in between. It was only for one of the interview. It was only interview of Upendra. I remember. He burst out with tears, and he himself
God.
asked for a break, and that is when we took a break for that interview. Apart from that, no break in any interview.
Oh my God.
In any interview. I remember when his interview was happening. Generally, we had a format of taking a break initially when we were doing. Maybe we'll offer the guest with the coffee or something. But then I realized I'm actually losing out on the intensity of the interview. See, it's just 1.5 hours of a stretch for you to sit in an interview, and many interviews have happened for with same person 2.5 episodes or 3 episodes as such. So it's 3 hours straight interview. People forget. Have they eaten? Are they thirsty? Do they have any other biological pressures or issues? They forget and they sit there, Smitha. I don't know. Again, I'm telling you, it just happened. The black screen and the stillness, the calmness.
Maybe the entire setup was such a way to bring out their everything on screen.
And it was just me and the person, and there was nothing else in the world that even I imagined at that given point of time, or even the
It's so
person
intimidating,
imagined.
black screen and the entire setup.
And it was a very intimate conversation between an anchor and a guest. So I think I have seen that peak, because even I used to not realize it when I was doing an interview. But when I came out of the interview, when it got telecasted, I've never seen my interviews. I don't see my interviews.
Okay.
I don't see me on screen. There are, of course, for the promos, promotional videos that we have, I see those videos, but I've never seen my full interviews till date. I just go to comments and I read those comments to understand how the interview has gone. That's it. I don't see my interviews, or I don't see me when I'm there on screen. But I have realized what impact it has created through people's words, their conversations, through others' mouth. And of course, you understand when the person, there is a drop of tear that comes out. So I know that, oh, okay, fine. Now it is a hit. With no,
But without
with
any
no hard feelings
research
to
about
any-
them, without knowing
the
much
basic-
about them, like,
Yeah.
it's difficult to tap into their emotional ability to,
No, Smitha, I always believe or I always understand because I know it myself. For you to be where you are, what you are. Today, ask me that what were the hardships that I have faced. I would sit here and cry for 3.5, 4 hours because it would be never ending in my life.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, again, I know that I'll leave those things and I'll get back to my life. So that is what my life is. But if you're able to tap that nerve to any person, because I know it, in every situation that you are, in every achievement that you have made, there might what you have achieved, to be very honest, I personally feel, whosoever has achieved anything, the person who has achieved something would actually be a peanut. But the distance traveled to achieve that peanut would be for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of kilometers.
Correct.
Basically.
We just see the surface level, the creamy
Yes.
layer, but what
Yes.
goes inside?
What goes inside, nobody knows.
knows.
Nobody knows. So it's I used to always imagine, if I'm calling you as a guest, if you're sitting there, of course I know basic things about you, why you're here, who you are, what you're doing. So these are the basic things, and I used to have a 5 to 10 minutes of a conversation talking to a person before the interview. But after that, I know that there is something that is there in a person's life.
Correct.
Which has brought the person here. So what is that? And it was only my quest to find that out in the interview.
Correct.
And yes, I think that
Absolutely.
made it,
I must say it will be
memorable,
remembered for a lot of I would say decades, because Namma BAHUBALI was such a program. And
so
we associate TV5 to Namma BAHUBALI, not the channel to the program. But that happened obviously because
No, I thank the channel actually. I've never taken the opportunity after I left the channel to thank. I want to actually take this opportunity here through your medium. Whatsoever it is, of course, why I came out, how did I come out, it was a different story. But for those 3.5 years that I worked in TV5 network, it has given me everything.
correct.
Name, fame, recognition, who I am today, what I am today, and the opportunities that I got. Because for somebody who has come to journalism without no journalism degree, without having no past experience, with hardly knowing 5 to 6, not even 10, 5 to 6 politicians' name or political
What?
leaders' name. Yes, when I started, I knew nothing. Smitha, I knew nothing. I'm telling you. I'm being very honest, I'm being very blunt. I don't know whether I can or not on
No.
national
You should, because
television.
many people think
Yeah.
that we have to start by knowing everything. That's not possible.
You can't.
You
can't
learn
do it.
through
You
the
learn
way.
through the journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey. That's why it's called a journey.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. So I knew nothing. I didn't even know what it means to, type a text and, place it for a program, for a 30-minute program. So what it requires to frame for a 30-minute program. I didn't know what it requires for you to, we call it a package, to fill it in a package. I knew nothing. But I knew was only one thing, that I have to stay in Delhi, I have to pursue my music and dance, and I need to survive. So I think it was a survival instinct. But later my survival instinct turned into a passion, is what I can
Correct. I
definitely
think
tell you.
that's what has driven you, and that's why you're here today. Any special message for our women sitting at home, sitting wherever they are, watching you today, and to dream big, to dream, like you said, beyond boundaries? Any special message that, yes, it's required for you to take the first step? I know many of them watching us would feel, we've achieved a lot, we have got an easy way out. There was no red carpet, for you, for me as well. But then, what is that one message that you want to give to our viewers, especially women who are watching us today?
To all the Bharatiya Naris of this country, of course, women across the world, but a special connection with the country woman. I know that we have a lot of restrictions, we have a lot of constraints, we have a lot of limitations that we have set for ourselves, and also the society has set for us. I think it's time for us to break all those, and you don't have to break your family, you don't have to break your personal beliefs, you don't have to change the world around you. But understand one thing, that just because you have changed, your priorities have changed, your dreams have changed, the world around you cannot change. So I very personally, on a very personal note, I would like to tell that there's a whole new opportunity in this world that's waiting for us, and it's time for us to actually grab it, keeping our core values intact. So if you're able to balance that, then I think the coming days are for us, and we have a great future. And this country would see all women leaders across all the categories, all the sectors, not necessarily only in politics. Across all the sectors, women will rule. I'm sure about it. Yes.
Thank you, Swathi.